Happy 5 years sober, my nigga George. Rest in peace, though, my nigga.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome all inquiring minds. This is the channel who made a detailed breakdown of Young Don's Christian journey, who then stopped being Christian a month after the video dropped. We also covered a very interesting individual known as Scooby-topia, who has problems, for lack of a better word, and apparently if you hold someone accountable for their actions, you're a hater and ableist. His words, not mine.
Your words, not mine.
So I'm sure some of you are wondering, what's next? Well, I'm pretty sure the title gave it away. We are going to be talking about a controversial content creator, and I say that term very loosely, TrevvtheDev. So who is TrevvtheDev? TrevvtheDev is a controversial figure in the digital space known for his involvement in the meme coin community and his provocative online persona. At just 19 years old, he gained attention by live streaming on pump.fun, where he engaged in reckless behavior, including drug use, which led to some viewers believing he had overdosed. This stunt, dubbed Crackhead Dev, was part of a series of events where he launched tokens like I'm Alive and stripper TrevvtheDev, the latter of which featuring explicit content and reaching a market cap of $680,000. So I guess despite popular belief, he was actually making money off of his coins. Outside of his crypto antics, viewers heavily criticized his racially charged content and language. For example, on platforms like Rumble, he would describe himself as just a humble white N-word beating racism, a phrase that people found contradictory. Another example is his most infamous video, Cooking with the N-word.
Cooking with the nigga, cooking with the nigga. Hey, I bet my fucking stereo nigga part 2.
First, we start off making fried banana and watermelon. Put it in some oil and watch it sizzle. That's for sure to make your nigga's mouth drip. Now, it's time to season the chicken drums. Slap your mama right on that bitch. And you cannot forget the black and mild. Wrap that bitch in some tinfoil. Place that bitch right on the engine for about 8 hours. Came back out to this. Voila. Perfect fried chicken. Now, we start off making the hood juice. Crush up some grapes for that grape Kool-Aid. And you can't forget the sugar, my nigga. Blend it all in and start squeezing those juices out. Combine the next ingredients for the hood juice in the toilet. First, you're gonna have to crush grapes, Kool-Aid, and of course the Hennessy, nigga. Now that it's all mixed up, get you a glass of some hood juice, nigga. Next, we're cooking the cornbread. Get you a stalk of corn and some bread and start stroking, nigga. After a minute of rubbing it, you should have your cornbread on the floor all saved up. Now it's time to enjoy my nigga feast. My niggas are gonna love this.
From what I've seen, he is most active on Twitter, which is an everything goes website. Makes sense when you constantly get kicked off of platforms for being a racist degenerate. However, Trev's actions have stirred tons of reactions and debates across the internet. On Reddit, particularly in subreddits such as r/Playboy Cardi, people are constantly discussing him, some on his side and some against him. Some will say he's just pushing the boundaries of comedy. Others will say he's promoting toxic content. If we were being realistic, faking your own death, using strippers for your love stream, and making extremely stereotypical racial content without an actual punchline while feeding into it isn't pushing the boundaries of comedy. It's fishing for shock value and outrage. But what do you think? Whether it's smoking drugs on live stream or making racist remarks under the guise of humor, Trev's content often leaves his audience divided. Some claim he's just trolling for views, but others argue he's just crossing the lines that shouldn't be crossed, especially when dealing with sensitive topics like race, substance abuse, and mental health. The real question is, are we witnessing a deliberate attempt to push boundaries for entertainment, or is this a sign for something deeper and more problematic? With that being said, let's go deeper into Trev's relationship with race. This is where things get really bad. Trevv isn't just a guy who makes edgy jokes. He makes a career out of saying and doing the most racially offensive things possible. Seriously, he proudly flaunts being a humble white N-word, makes a video of him making the most stereotypically black meals, and gives very racist motivational speeches. And here's the thing, comedy can be edgy, sure, but it has to have some level of substance to it. You can't just throw out racist slurs for clout and pretend it's ironic. At a certain point, it stops being a joke and becomes harmful. To further prove the point of how one racist joke works and the other doesn't, take the Boondocks for example.
I had two younger brothers, my brother Darrell and my other brother Darrell. But Mister always seemed to single me out the most. I would get beaten for anything.
Nigga, did you just break that vase?
Sweet Jesus, Lord have mercy, my baby!
Just having fun with off limits in Mister's house.
Nigga, did I just catch you having fun?
Sweet Jesus, Lord have mercy, my baby!
Every day, he reminded me of what a failure I was going to be.
Mister, I want to be a doctor when I grow up. Nigga, did I just catch you wanting to be shit?
Sweet Jesus, Lord have mercy, my baby!
My darling adopted Negro mother, who I loved almost like she was white, did the best she could.
Now don't you listen to him, Uncle. You ain't no worthless nigga. Deep down in your heart, you always have to believe that you are special.
She made sure I knew all my white history. Did always seem to get it the waste, Uncle. What I never could understand was how the man got to be so hateful, so mad at the world, for no reason. Look, nothing excuses what Mister did to us growing up. But as we got older, we saw things. The white folks Mister works for, well, they didn't always treat him very well. No, that's crazy talk. No, Uncle, it's true. Every time Mister went out into the world, the white man took a little more of his dignity, and his sanity, and his humanity. He served white folks his whole life. He even worked for the police department as a practice dummy. Sometimes they would just abuse him for no reason.
Good job, boy. Yeah.
Well, he must have done something. It just ain't in the white man's nature to act cruel for no reason. Sometimes I think him being so hard on us was his misguided way to try and toughen us up for a tough world.
The holy grail for jokes both against and for the black community. But for TrevvtheDev, bro really looking and acting like the girl from the series, Them. People love to defend this kind of content, claiming it's just for laughs. But let's be real. What's funny about watching someone glorify substance abuse, make light of serious mental health issues, or say blatantly racist things for views? These aren't edgy jokes. They're low-hanging fruit, and the damage they do is more than just making people uncomfortable. It encourages a culture of insensitivity. When you normalize this stuff, you make it okay for your viewers to think this behavior is acceptable in the real world. And no, Trevv, the "I'm just joking" excuse doesn't hold water when you're constantly crossing the line. So why does this all matter? Well, content like Trevv's isn't just a reflection of his own desire for attention. It reflects a broader trend in online culture where shock value is the currency. But let's consider something important here. Just because something gets attention doesn't mean it's adding value to the conversation. Content creators have a responsibility, whether they like it or not, to think about the kind of culture they're fostering. And that brings us to the real problem. As viewers, we have the power to decide what becomes popular. If we keep rewarding this kind of toxic, boundary-pushing content, we risk reinforcing the idea that this is the type of content that gets attention. Instead, creators who take risks thoughtfully, challenge the status quo with purpose, and use their platform to uplift others, those creators deserve our attention. So yes, Trevv may continue to make waves, but the question is, should we even give him the platform? In the long run, content like Trevv's won't be sustainable. This kind of attention-seeking, divisive content has a shelf life, and when the controversy fades, all that's left is the reputation of a creator who used their platform irresponsibly. The reality is that audiences are beginning to see through these tactics. There's a fine line between building a following for the right reasons and building one just to feed a personal ego. What Trevv fails to realize is that his content doesn't just reflect a moment of controversy, it reflects a deeper disregard for the impact of his actions. And eventually, that catches up with creators. So, what's next for Trevv? Will he get canceled? Or will he ride this wave of controversy until it eventually blows up in his face? One thing's for sure, Trevv is building a brand off chaos, and it's only a matter of time before the backlash catches up to him. Will people still watch? Unfortunately, probably, but one can only hope that as time goes on, people begin to see through the facade, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to see someone self-destruct for views. Well, except maybe Trevv himself. So, what do you think? Is Trevv just an edgelord looking for attention, or is he a bigger issue with how content creators are using their platforms for cheap thrills? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you want more breakdowns like this, and make sure to subscribe for all the juicy, cringeworthy content coming your way. Until next time, don't take advice from guys like Trevv.